Hello, today we will be talking about improper fractions and mixed numbers. So just to get a few definitions out of the way, we have three terms we would like to discuss. First, proper fractions. So we don't really talk about proper fractions, but they do exist. And what that is when the numerator is less than the denominator. So for example, 1/3 is a proper fraction. 2/5, 10/31, 102 500ths. Those are all called proper fractions because the numerator is less than the denominator. Now, improper fractions are when the numerator is either equal to the denominator or greater than the denominator. So you might have things like 4/4 when they are equal, or 37/37, or if the numerator is larger or greater than the denominator. So you might have something like 45/30, 90/57, 1,512. So those are all improper fractions. And then finally, we have what are called mixed numbers. And I think you have heard of those before. That is when you have a whole number, be any whole number, and a fraction attached to it. So say 1 2/5, or 13 4/9, things like that. Okay, so things that we need to be able to do with improper fractions is to be able to convert them to mixed numbers. Okay, so improper fractions. Let's do two different kinds. Let's do the kind where the numerator and the denominator are equal. So say we do 7/7. As we know, the fraction bar also means to divide. So with the numerator always goes inside the box and the denominator goes outside the box. So here's the question. How many times does 7 go into 7? That is one time. And when we multiply and subtract, we're done. So anytime we have the numerator equal to the denominator, it is equal to 1. That's the easy one. Now, what happens when we have something where the numerator is greater than the denominator? Guess what? We still divide. So for instance, let's look at the improper fraction 15 halves, 15/2. We always divide, and guess what? Always, 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 the numerator goes inside the box. Have I said that before? The numerator goes inside the box. So in this case, the 15 goes inside, the 2 goes outside. Now we start dividing. How many times does 2 go into 1? Nope, but 2 goes into 15 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. We subtract and we get a 1. Now here's where we're going to stop, because in previous lessons, we started converting these things to decimals. But we're now, the task that we have is converting them into a mixed number. Okay, so now what we do is we have a whole number 7. We have what we used to call a remainder. We put the remainder in the numerator of a fraction, and then we have whatever is outside the box as our denominator, which happens to be the same denominator. Let's do another one. Let's do 21/4. Okay, so as always, the numerator goes inside the box and the denominator goes outside. Now we divide. Does 4 go into 2? No, it does not. Does 4 go into 21? Yes, it does. 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. When we subtract, we get a 1. So now we are done. There's no more digits, and this is less than the 4. So our whole number is 5. We put our remainder as the numerator, and we keep the same denominator. So that is how we convert an improper fraction to a mixed number. Let's go in the reverse order. I'm going to erase this for now. What if we had a mixed number and we want to move it back to an improper fraction. We have to do that sometimes for certain problems. So let's look at the mixed number 2 1/3. We're going to kind of work this thing backwards. So here is the procedure. What we do is we take the denominator, multiply it by the whole number. Okay, so the denominator times the whole number. Okay, so in this case, 3 times 2, and we know that to be 6. Now what we are going to do is add the numerator. So we're going to do 6 plus 1, and we know that to be 7. And then this becomes our new numerator. So 7 is our numerator, and then we use the denominator in our original problem. So 2 1/3 is equal to 7/3. Let's look at that in picture form. Say we have a circle, we have 2 circles, and I am going to create thirds because we are in thirds. And then I'm going to have another 1/3 of a circle. So here's my 1/3, my fraction. Here are my 2 whole circles, and I divided them into thirds. So I have 1, 2, 3/3, 4, 5, 6/3, and a 7/3. That is how you convert mixed numbers to improper fractions and how you convert improper fractions to mixed numbers.